Now I request COGNOTA Sanjeev.
Hi everyone, trying to get my screen shared with you. So COGNOTA is about healthcare digitization and making healthcare treatment personalizable for the individual patients. We started in 2016. Our key focus is how to leverage technology to make the health service better. If you look at globally, even just US alone, the heart disease, diabetic, and the lost productivity is to billions of dollars, 200 billion in heart disease, 325 in diabetic, and telehealth. India had just started with 5.5 billion, but it's going to grow a lot substantial. The basic problems in today's healthcare industries are related to shortage of skilled workers, and it's going to get worse. India alone, they're expecting 7.4 million skilled worker shortage in next 3 years, and US 3 million, and likewise it goes. Basically, throughout the world, technology need to play a role in healthcare services. With COVID, people have been aware now that waiting in OPD room increases the risk of unnecessary illness that was not there. And ICU also has a bigger problem in terms of medical devices making alerts and not being attended by the nurse creates a lot of challenge. So we are making ICU smart. As we go through, we'll walk through that. And of course, the future is where genetic-based treatments are now being part of the mental health illness as well as addiction. And doctor visit once in 3 months or 6 months is too late. So it need to be proactive, constant engage model. That's where our remote patient monitoring plays a vital role. So we have different components as a technology. It's a combination of software as well as hardware. We have our proprietary patent filed signal processors communicator that makes ICU smarter, as well as teleconsultation platform connects with complete ecosystem, and the genetic based prescription pharmacology playing role into the technology playing role. One of the key concept diagram, and I'm going to have a 1-minute video played towards the end of it, command center, how the smart ICU works. Basically, different medical devices are needed, absolute essential. There is not going to be a single manufacturer producing all the devices. And hospitals need to work on their service from the unified view of one system dealing with the entire taking care of patient. So that's where the COGNOTA communicator comes in picture, which takes the signals from different signal processors and unifies it and present into a one central command center. So it's easy for hospital to manage the ICU staff, the ICUs as compared to the without our smart ICU. If you look at the globally, the trend is ICU staff is the most expensive staff. And communicator COGNOTA makes that staff more productive by automating the task, by building escalations and making it smarter than what otherwise it would be. All our business models are SaaS based, and we have ability based on our component based approach. We are able to make multiple revenue source on the same transactions. Basically, where as of today, we already have 1 patent issued, 2 patents filed, and 6 provisional already filed in India. We have 250,000 registered users in India and 250,000 transactions. We have 2,500 doctors or hospitals already on board, and 1,400 plus labs already connected in India to our platform. We also have a field test going almost concluded in remote patient monitoring, as well as FDA approval towards the we are expecting approval within next week or so. So far, we have shown a very high level, but basic there are multiple revenue sources starting from the basic enterprise license to per patient annual charges for access to the platform, and there is a basic version which is free as well. And there are like different revenue points that we have into the product baked in. We have already covered 7,000 pin codes in India, where we have a presence of a medical expert using our platform, and we are on target to cover 15,000 pin codes in India, highly populated pin codes in India by this within the year, and that will cover pretty much entire India. we are seeking basically funding for inventory production of our proprietary medical devices as well as talent hiring and expansion of our platform. So before I jump to the next part of our presentation, just wanted to play a real 1 minute clip that gives you an idea about what smart ICU feature we are talking about. Please let me know if you don't hear the clip.
COGNOTA Command Center helps medical professionals to access and record this data in a real time from a multi-channel environment. This reducing the turnarounds of critical and sometimes life-saving decisions. This command hub focuses on seamless amalgamation between the software and the hardware with any third-party medical devices. Some of the smart features that this command center is having are reducing physical touch points with patients, access medical devices data remotely, non-stop functioning of medical devices while patient is in mobile condition, seamless integration with hospital IT systems, and convenient reports and analytics management. Signal processor is hardware, which gets connected to each medical device and converts serial port data to wireless data and transfers it to the communicator. Communicator located in ICUs or ward communicates with field devices, collects the data and transfers it to the command center via central server of the hospital. This can receive data with multiple signal processors.
So that was a very small clip wanted to show the presentation about our communicator. Coming back to our platform technology, the remote patient monitoring piece that we have been talking about is a blood pressure monitor involving having access a cellular-based blood pressure monitor where a patient can take the reading at home and the data get immediately synced up with the server and presented to the doctor. And we have the algorithms, artificial intelligence based algorithm baked into it, where most of the automation, initial level 1 scrutiny can happen based on the historical statistical data paired with the individual patient profile. So it can reduce the expert involvement to the degree practically possible. So we believe there is a hybrid solution between the technology and the human component, and that's where the future is. While making the treatment personalized, it also focuses on leveraging technology and having real-time access to the data makes it quite lucrative in terms of patient being proactive about their health, having expert looking into the data and having caregiver access. So the dad who got the blood pressure monitor gift from the daughter, usually without our ecosystem based approach, usually it just stays on the shelf after 6 months, battery dead, dad never use it. Now with our proactive engage model, if the dad doesn't take the reading, the daughter will know, and the doctor can also notice the change in the trend in the vitals. We are just using blood pressure. I'm using this as an example, but the concept is all the 7 vital parameters in the human body, which are a great indicator of the progress of health in the human body, starting with the blood pressure monitor, sugar level, the heart pulse, oxygen level, temperature. We are monitoring all those 7, and we have the combination of multiple devices, proprietary devices that we are launching globally. We have started generating revenue on a month-to-month basis. We have good client base and signed orders, and that's why we are trying to raise funding to get to the next growth stage. I know I'm running little on the time, so I'm stopping here for any questions if you may have, please.
What was the ask? Can you please?
We are seeking for up to $3.5 million for inventory, talent hiring, and expansion into different geographies such as US and Middle East.
What is the bed size? They should have to make these devices.
So the devices, we are having 2 type of devices. The smart ICU, which are very focused on the ICUs. Typical ICUs we have seen around individual ICU, maybe around 25 beds. and the hospital may have five to six ICUs, depending on the specialties that are handled by the hospital, be it neonatal, pediatric, or special heart, like that. So there are multiple ICUs in the typical hospital setup. We have this product already deployed in the one of the hospital where 100 injectors from Fresenius Kabi are already connected. So Fresenius Kabi prefer to work with us. It's a German-based number one injector in the world. They work with us as our technology partner for their injectors to be made smart to connect to HIS. Likewise, we are working on another German-based company, Tracker, which is into vital monitoring. So we understand that we may not be able to solve every problem in every hospital, and we are not trying to be everything, the smartest kid on the bullet. We are trying to be practically trying to leverage what we can and make good money for our shareholders while giving a better service to the patient.
Questions from anyone?
If any other question, please feel free.
Yeah, Sanjeev, what is the cross margin? Sorry.
We believe because of our ability to make multiple revenue streams on the same transaction, we believe margins will be very high. At minimum, we expect 50% profit margin initially, and that will go to more very high margins as with any medical industry, because what we have tried to figure it out, by lowering the cost to the individual stakeholders, we are able to get more margins. For example, one of our customer who happens to be in the employer-sponsored employee health and wellness. So when that employee comes on board, they are paying per user annual subscription fee. Every time they go for a consulting or find a COVID lab or go to the diagnostic, so there is a transaction which brings us a percentage revenue from that transaction. And plus, when the lab gets the order, we get on the other end also, we get fraction of that. So by having ability to charge at each end, we could lower the cost for individual stakeholder. That's why stakeholders love to work with us, and that's why within matter of a few months we could expand from 0 to 2,500 doctors and hospitals and 1,400 plus labs, and we are onboarding as we speak. There are two batch of around 2,000 labs coming on board as a bulk wholesaler. I cannot disclose the name yet, but we are very close to get them. Integration work is going on. So we are expanding, and within next 6 months, our target is 6 to 9 months. We'll be covering 15,000 highly populated PIN codes in India, where we'll have at least one doctor present or one clinic present that will be attending multiple services, and they will be getting leads through our ecosystem. And that's why the clients of our love, because we are expanding their market. Because of us, they are getting the leads that they would not have otherwise, in addition to taking care of their existing patient base. So now with set of remote patient monitoring and connectivity to the labs and pharmacies and diagnostic centers and wellness centers, we have expanded our footprint rapidly. So from 0 to 250,000 user base in less than 4 months, and it's growing. We are expecting million patients coming on board, registered patient, within next 6 months. And our target for the remote patient monitoring services, 1 million devices in next 3 years. And if you do the math, in one PIN code, even if one doctor sells one device in a month, that's 7,000 devices in India alone. Doctor on an average in India, as many of you may know, sees around 50 to 100 patients a day, 22 working days in a month, enjoying the holidays on the weekend. They could easily sell at least 2 devices a day. But for the projection purpose, even if we take 1 device per doctor per month, that is still 7,000 devices in a given month. At the starting point, that goes to 15,000. And we already have FDA approval launching plan ready in the US. We have been blessed with a lot of fortunate with having a lot of experts in this field of remote patient monitoring, senior doctors already on board and working with us. Beyond not just a loose advisor, but with vested interest working with us. in our success, those who understand the complexity of the insurance side as well as the necessity on the caregiver side. So typically, if you look at India, 25% of the metro cities, you will find parents, aged parents living in Bangalore, Mumbai, Pune. You take it, kids are settled in Australia, US, Europe. Kids are worried about parents' health. So RPM comes very handy, and that's our B2C market in addition to our B2B where doctors are selling. So we are targeting B2B as well as B2C.
Yeah, Sanjay, and the other question is like, what is the device cost?
So device, there are multiple devices.
Can you please show the diagram, please? The each devices, the cost of the.
So signal processor is around 10,000 rupees in India market. And the communicator is around 25,000 rupees, because in communicator you could attach around 10 to 15 signal processor can connect to one. So one ICU need only one communicator, and one device will need one signal processor. That's on the smart ICU side. On the remote patient monitoring side, the home health side, it could be like 4,000 rupees for your weighing scale, and 7,000 rupees for your blood pressure monitor. And we are launching, we understand the price sensitivity. So for the low end patient with the budget conscious patient, we are launching the Bluetooth based blood pressure monitor, as well as for the high end cellular based as well. So we are trying to take into account the patient affordability as well as market adoption, and that way we are keeping the models from that perspective ready.
Thank you, Sanjeev. Any questions? That's all, Sanjeev. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you all.